Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see what we got going here. It's Thursday, so we're just a day away from TGIF. There we are. I can hear the sound. So the sound is 5 by 5. Excelente. All one of us are here. Excellent. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's put the fact check spreadsheet up. Yeah, that looks a little right. Let's move it over just a teeny weeny little bit more so you can see the numbers right there. I think you can. There you go. You can see the numbers down. So when we go look at line 14, you can see it's in a whatever that of line 14 is the euro. And you can see on the Swissy, that's line 21. You can see the number line 21. 3 weeks in a cell, 4 days in a cell. Let's zip over to that. Let's go right like so. Move that up. And zoom. There we are. As you can see here, where is that at? There it is. What are we looking at there? No, we want to be looking at, that's cattle. let's go right to the Forex there. There it is. There's the Swiss, dollar Swiss, and you can see it here on J4X here. It's been moving down. That means the dollar is, hey, Daniel, there you are. Coming in at the end of the week. I like that. Very cool. You can see the dollar's been moving down, which what really caught my eye is the fact that the dollar is moving down, interest rates are rising. That is something normally we don't see in the currency markets. It's a rarity, but that's the way in this world. You can only laugh and giggle and try to, make a joke out of it. This world, we're in the era of QE, quantitative easing. And it's been going on now for 12 years, almost 13 years now. Quantitative easing. And heading for 14 years. And so it's a whole different universe. Was busy with exams. Oh, good, good. I'm glad they're over with. What are you studying, Daniel? Yeah, what are you studying? So, as you go to answer, I'm going to mumble a little bit more about how unique it is to watch currency pairs change value against the logic of, I'd say decades upon decades, or history shows totally different. Russell A50 shares Spanish index Hang Sang, fourth year agriculture finishing in June. Neat. Ag guy, cool, cool, excellent. Hey, Stefan, how you doing too? Excellent. So you're learning how to buy Pioneer seeds, or you're learning how to buy DuPont seeds, or what? Or what's the other one? Monsanto seeds. They do have some good seeds, They really do. Especially the grains. They produce really, basis, I guess you call it, based uh, products. So Stefano, how you doing? It's heading for Friday. We're looking very forward to that at the moment. We're like, yay, it's Friday. It's Thursday, getting ready to be Friday. It's like, hooray for us. Can't wait. Let's see what else we got brewing here. So let's just check this out again, and that is no GMO seeds. I was waiting for you to say that. I hear you. I hear you. I go back and forth. Some of the research shows it. Some of the research doesn't show it. They hollow out certain molecules. The GMOs talk to the insects and tell them, oh no, you don't like us. Things like that. Bioagriculture. Let's see, wheat. What's that? Linen, corn, rapeseed. That's what we cultivate. Nice, very nice. Oop! What happened there? They just wiped it off. They just wiped it off. Someone just wiped off what you just the ingredients that you guys do. Um, it's a interesting, as a science person myself and an ag guy. Uh, you know, we basically I am fascinated over the decades watching the slow evolution of re-engineering seeds, where they talk and communicate, and they're less violent in many ways. Also, there's always the question of hollow carbs and less vitamins. Half lives of how long it stays in the gut. How much if you eat this particular product. It's fascinating, definitely fascinating. And when you look at the currency pairs and you see the currency pairs functioning totally the opposite of the way the norm has been for centuries, I guess you could say, really. And then you look at the agricultural side of it. Canola is a better. Oh, okay. Is that what that is? Linen is canola. I was wondering. I thought that what it might be. Yeah. Yeah. I like canola oil. Matter of fact, I was just looking at. Check this out. We're writing an article today on bean oil. Look at it there. Let's check this out. I mean, our math has been really spot on in this product. But more than that is the way it has gained in value. It's up over twice amount in over a 12-month period. It's gone from like 27, 28 to 70. Yeah, it's been very interesting. You can see on the chart there we have the Swiss, and the Swiss is moving down. But check out this. Here is the check out the 30-year right there. It's going down in price, which means interest rates are rising. And here we are at the same time we're watching the dollar go down in value. It is truly strange times. Yeah, flaxseed. That's a very interesting product. Very interesting product. I like using flaxseed in things. It's very healthy. So you go back to the currencies here. We'll drift into the commodities again because you're studying ag, and that's kind of neat. But what is really amazing is how the marketplace has changed the way they value things, which is really interesting in its own right. Just, who would think if you told a major trader, 15 years ago, oh yeah, 30-year bond is going down in price, he would have been like, sell the euro. Or in that case, back then, it might have been like sell the Deutschmark. Sell the Swiss. Don't buy it. Sell it. And or in this case here, it would be buy the Swiss. Buy the Swiss. But in this era, the numbers and the concepts and the normality that we've been used to for as much as 5,000 years when it comes to interest rates and understanding the marketplace have changed dramatically. And I really always try to emphasize to everybody that stop reading the old books because markets are not going that way. And then Janos from Dukascopy had created a couple of videos trying to describe how fundamentals just are not what they used to be. And so you can't really trust trading, that way. And that's why we are a quantitative group. And then you can see what we've done with our J4X chart. We're using a quantitative way of looking at that through two different moving stochastics. And not the high or low of the stochastic, but the way they treat each other. So we're looking at a rate of change through a spatial formation, which emulates our mathematics pretty closely, like 65%, which is not bad compared to a lot of these products out there, these public tools that are just nowhere near insightful. So, all right, let's jump over to the, and then yes, see that? On the bean oil. And oh, no, yes, that's where we are. Left off the bonds there. So the bonds are going down in price, as you can see right here. And what are they doing with the dollar? They're selling it. It's so funny. It's crazy. Yeah, it's like AK all day. It's crazy. All right, now let's jump over to the euro and see how the euro is doing this morning. There is the euro. And as you can see here, the euro moving up. At least it looks like it's doing that. Let's check it out right there. And you can see it's moving up there too, going after that cute little dotted line that we think about. We're in that daily buy and that weekly buy. You can see both of them. Very directional. Our math is doing its job. It's it's giving us the good direction, showing us the momentum the way it's supposed to be. You can see here on the J4X are two indicators that we follow the most, and then here's yours, Daniel. There, the MACD, which is kind of a lagging product. You can see where our work. Well, you can see here ours crossed here, and it took here for it to cross in the MACD. But overall, it's a very good way of looking at everything is through spatial mathematics versus like a Newtonian type of fixed packet, I guess you could call it. When you look at it through a topological way compared to the fixed packets where they can't alter or change. And then we drift over to cable. Cable, as Doc always does, I get excited about the cable, thinking that it's undervalued. And there it is right there, giving it a good push towards the 40 again. We went into that weekly buy last week right there. And we went into the daily buy yesterday. Let's put that in there. And for some of you, we have it on the chart as a 3-day, like right there. Even with the volatility signal, we went with the daily buy. So you can see we're 2 full days going on a 3rd day for Dukascopy. Stefan, hey, you never looked to volume for entrance or exit. No, I ever since they created listed options, volume is not necessarily. I used to describe. You're gonna like this. I haven't said this in a long time, but in my earlier webinars back with Dukascopy, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I used to say that volume, since there's listed options. And so when you see somebody buying euros or selling British pounds, you don't know if that means that they're long or short since listed options. Before listed options, when someone was selling British pounds, more than likely they were getting out of a long or they were getting short. But either way meant that they thought it was going down. Okay? I'm going to repeat myself a few times on this because it's well worth discussing. So I'm really glad, Stefano, that you mentioned this. And so hey Middle Age, how you doing? Yeah, I hear you. It's holding the weekly, and they tried to digest it. Yeah, didn't I call that yesterday? Middle Age, I called it. It's digesting. In other words, the profit takers are just taking profits, nothing more than that. I think that's what I said yesterday about it. So volume, ever since options and indice futures, volume means almost nothing, because you can watch somebody buy something. I love all the time. At one time, I worked out of a hedge fund operation out of where was it? Greenwich, Connecticut, and no, it was in Stanford. And so we had all these people around us, like Tudor Jones and a bunch of these other people floating around the area, and so everybody was talking with each other, and the news media would say, "Oh my God, Tudor Jones just bought 4,000 oil contracts," but what they never reported was he also went out and bought something like 5,000 or 6,000 put options. Okay, and because of that, you're not really seeing. Tudor wasn't getting long oil; he was buying a straddle. In other words, he was trading the volatility. So he was hoping for activity. He wasn't bullish. He wasn't bearish. He was looking for activity. That was it. Nothing more than that. So volume, when you fast forward from 1976, volume just doesn't really represent a lot what's going on. Now, I have seen when you put, if you look at the volume of crude oil futures, say, and then you put the volume together with the crude oil options, that has more insight. But to just watch, to put the volume up on British pound or Apple, if you're not looking at the options and the underlying product, you're wasting your time. Because in this era, it doesn't work that way. Does that make sense to you, Stefano? Okay, now let's jump over to Middle Age again. And you can respond back, Stefano. We can try to answer anything you ask, And sometimes you can see big volume at entries and exits. but it's not necessarily giving you the direction. It's just telling you that the participants have maybe gotten out or increased their position even bigger. It can be both. It literally can be both. So, let's jump over to, let's see, now, oh yeah, so I answered Middle Ages too, yeah. And then here's Daniel. Crude from 65 to 68, copper from, okay, from 454 to 470, palladium from 2960 to 30 and a half, all targets for end of May. End of May? Hell, this is a live trading show. Damn. This is, in trading, it doesn't matter how many years you've been in it. It's what have you done for me lately. I want to know what you think in the next 24 hours. That's the name of the game there. But thank you for your projections to the future. That's no problem. You notice that we don't pay attention to that because we only live week to week and day to day. And then you can go and look at any one of these products. Let's choose one of your products. You started off with saying something about indexes. Let's take a look at an index. All right, so let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, all the way back into March. My math says the weekly trend has gone into a buy. The next week, it reconfirms it. 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 See what I'm saying here? In other words, there's no way in the world I'm going to sit there and say, okay, it went into the weekly buy in March. Look all the way out to the mid-April, and it's going to be in a weekly buy. I have no idea. I use short-term indicators to keep the continuity of the underlying momentum in check. In other words, I want to know what it's doing today. Is it confirming that it's going to do it tomorrow or the next couple of days? And then when you combine the two together, the daily here in the middle, and then the bottom here, the weekly, you can see where it goes into a weekly buy, then it goes into a daily buy, and it's safe to be long. More safe than anything else on the planet that's going to tell you that. That's for sure. And then where'd it go there? We had pulled it out somehow or another. I guess I'm not sure why. Who knows if it changed? I don't care. And the end result is that it's in a buy there and it goes up in value. And then the same thing. It gets a sell signal, but does the weekly trend change? No. It goes down, but it doesn't break. So do we want to go short? Well, if you're trading binaries or options, yeah, you can do that because it has a limited risk factor. Because we're always measuring risk here. And every week on a weekly trend, we're confirming that the trend is still up. Or on a daily trend, every day we're looking to see if the trend is still up or if it's down. And so that's the only way we function. Now, I have no problem you giving us your projections for the future. That's fine. But I just don't even trust my own. I mean, when I say, oh, when I love the British pound and I go, oh my God, it went into a weekly buy and a daily buy, it's going to 42 now. I do that because of the love of it, not because of the technical analysis of it. I have no idea if it's going to 42. It's just that I think it's undervalued personally. But will I put money on that? Nope. Unless it's in options, of course, if I put a bull spread on, because I know how much I can lose. Whereas if you put on the Forex, or the cash or the futures, you can get stopped out. How many times, let me say this, how many times have you heard a trader say, I bought that, and then I got stopped out, and look at it, it's higher than where I thought it was even going? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that story. And so that's the real answer. All targets ranging from end of next week to end of May mostly. Well, let's hope so. If you're long, I'm right with you, my friend. And if I'm on a weekly buy, I agree with you until I go into a weekly sell, and then I'll say, nope, I disagree with you. So that is the nature of the way, we do quantitative analysis here. We follow the math and the rate of change in all these proprietary indicators and some of the public. When we go over to the J4X, you can see there. We've taken just something as simple as two stochastics and made them compete against each other. And you can see, and when you look up in the trader's guide of leading indicators versus lagging indicators, they all claim that a stochastic is a lagging indicator. And the reason why we leave the MACD up there is because you like to follow it. And it shows you that the MACD, the bottom one, is considered a leading indicator. But by changing the way we read these indicators, we've made the stochastics the leading indicator. By success, by its proof, the proof of success, not by our opinion, not by wishing, not by hoping, but literally by physical evidence, pure scientific method, and success rate of success. How many times more the two fighting stochastics are more accurate and at the same time the Market Technicians Association calls them lagging indicators, where without a doubt we show you that we've taken a tool that the Market Technicians Association of Switzerland and the United States and all these Market Technician Associations claim that the MACD is the more leading indicator, when in fact we show evidence of it every day on J4X that it's not. And that's what this webinar is all about. I am a scientist, and I only live by the success and failure of evidence. That's it, right there. Nothing more than that. And so, I mean, I can put up a monthly chart. We could put up a monthly chart of my mathematics and try to project what the next month can be. But the longer you try to get accurate information out of something, you're going to find that it's lagging, it's not leading. And so we follow all these products through the daily, we follow them through the weekly, and when you go out to the monthly, oh yeah, I can, and the problem is that you use a monthly chart, there's a great potential to get stopped out, and then at the same time be frustrated that you traded it with the wrong tool. And that's the key, is to use the right tool. In other words, binaries and option spreads in particular are the way to go. The hard delta is a short-term tool, unless you're only trading 3 or 2% of your equity. In other words, you buy 2 or 3% of what was the group? Let's go find your group again. You find where's that? Oh yeah, copper. So you take your portfolio and only buy 2% of copper. Chances are you won't get stopped out. Or 2% of your portfolio with crude oil, you won't get stopped out because you can afford it. But if you buy those products with 30 or 40% of your portfolio, the odds are you're going to get stopped out, and that's the truth of the math of it all in the end. Okay, look what we got here. Oh, Stefano said thanks again. Cool, thank you. Let's see. Middle Age says your weekly quant is the best thing I've ever seen in 28 years of trading. Ho! Thank you, Middle Age. I like that. Yeah, and I can tell you this. I don't put monthlies up there, and they can be as accurate, but for a webinar where we're looking at short-term, days and weeks, you really don't want to cloud something up with a more long-term projection of momentum, because unfortunately people people who are not necessarily as skilled in trading who are watching the webinar might think, oh good, I can get long that, and they go and buy like 80% of their portfolio in one product, and the next thing you know, they're blowing themselves out. So Bruno, how you doing? Check out, let's see, okay, let me just double check what Daniel said, and we'll go to New Zealand yen. Let me just I'll put it up there so you can look at it while I'm reading the rest of Daniel's. Let me go find that, because I think I have the New Zealand yen in there. New Zealand yen. No, I don't. We have Euro yen. Let's switch the Euro yen over to New Zealand, and we'll be able to fix that for you too at the same time. NZD. Because see, it pops right up. I remember that. We found a lot of insight into that I remember when we looked at it last time, it might have been 3 or 4 months back, or maybe shorter. Uh, but I do remember thinking, "Wow, what a great leading indicator." Okay, now let me just check what Daniel said, and then we're going to take that apart for you, Bruno. Let's see. Daniel says dollar short ruble. Yeah, I hear you there. What's it on the fact check spreadsheet? In the ruble in the sell? I think it went into the sell. Where is it at? Line where it's going into a sell right now? What's it? Dollar ruble. That's it. 6 weeks in a buy and 11 days in a sell. See that there where I highlighted it? We'll come back to you, Bruno, in a second. And then let me see what Daniel says on the other two. CAD. I do everything in order. So dollar CAD, dollar Swiss. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And let me just throw that up there real quick. And then we'll go right back to Bruno's. Yeah, you can see that there. They're playing. This is the ruble. It's been down all week long. We've been in a daily sell right here. So this is going to be interesting to see. Maybe it's starting to read the elections. They're going to blow Biden's people out of that government so fast in the next year. Biden, I don't think Biden's going to get anything passed. He is just rambling like he always does. All right, now let's go back to Bruno's. Maybe the ruble's picking that up. I'll tell you, Trump in the White House again, Trump or a Republican Party in the Congress will clean up all this goofiness that the Dems have been doing to the Russian Federation. They've been attacking the Russian Federation since Obama. It's been really pathetic. I wish they would stop it. Okay, here we go. I'm sure there are times we can give the Russian Federation plenty of grief. We're going to work backwards. So there it is right there. It goes into the buy here on the daily on the New Zealand. You can see here it went into the weekly there. Is it right there? Yeah, right there. Let's see what this one says. That says that's a minus. And that is a minus. Okay, so it went into a sell there. Then let's put another one. Let's scroll that over a little bit and see if we can steal a few more of these things. There's one there. Do we have any green ones? No. Okay, so we're going to steal that one and move it down. This is just me being me. Okay, and then move that over. And we're going to show you what we've seen out of this. Wow. I'm going to change the color on that and just make it the buy. Then, there. Okay. And let's scroll back. Wow, that went into a buy back in November. October. Look at that. Went into the weekly buy in October. And then, let's move that over. So that's there. We'll steal that buy right there. We're going to clean it up from here on. Then it throws it into a sell, but you can't take the sell because we're in a weekly buy here. Got that so far, Bruno? Yeah, you know what, Daniel? That Euro Turkish lira has been very insightful too. Remember when we went back and looked at that? I think I have a chart on that. After I finish off Bruno, we'll go back and look at that because you're right. That might be more insight. Things are going real weird there. No. Oh, yeah, okay. So it goes in a buy there, fails at it. Let's widen this a little bit so you can see it better too. So it fails at it, goes back into the sell, whipsaws you. You lose some dinero. Then it's winner, winner, chicken dinner. Right there. Throws you in a buy right here. And anything you lost on that day and a half, no matter how you tried to trade it. Doesn't matter if you tried to trade it with the hardest delta in the world. Instead, it makes you buku money, baby. That's the Vietnamese for a lot. And then you see here, it goes into a sell. You don't take the short, of course, because the most you do is you take a profit right there. And because we're in a weekly buy still. So you don't do that unless you're trading the options. Then you can fool around with it a little bit there. And then you can see right there, goes into a buy again, and it becomes buku money again, baby. And then let's see, right there, you get into a sell, right there. And then let's grab one of these. We're not going to look at this stuff here, so we'll move that over. That goes to the, is that a buy there? Yeah, that goes into a buy, and you get smack-a-doodled. You lose dinero. Matter of fact, do you lose dinero? Yeah. There, you get punched in the face right there. And then what's Doc's math do every time? It comes back and makes you do-re-mi right back again. It makes you, see how much that lost? It makes twice the amount right there. And then, let's see. We need to steal a few more of these, don't we? Let's see, where did we leave off? Let's see. There's a buy right there. And that's a winner chicken dinner. And then, let's see, we can go like there. There's a winner chicken dinner. You can't take the short. Remember, you can't take those shorts. So you're not really losing any money. Only lose on this because it's in a weekly buy every week. You only take the longs. So then right there you take that. And there's the sell. And then let me go over and grab another one like that instead of me having to fix it. So we'll go like this. Put one there. Grab another one of these there. And we'll grab that one. And we'll grab one of these. We'll load them up and we'll move them around. This way I don't have to create them. Okay, so then... Okay, so there's the sell. All right, so we take that one. And there is the sell right there. Okay. And then we take the buy. And there's your buy right there. And another winner chicken dinner. And then we'll put that buy there. And we'll grab that sell right there that we moved over. There it is right there. And we're in a weekly buy, so you never take the sell trades except for like to take profits. You don't go short. Unless you're trading. If you want to do it, you better do it in a binary or you do it in an option, that type of thing, where you know what the limited risk is. Then, all right, I'll create one right there. That's a sell, but we don't really get shorted because, again, why traders? We're in a weekly buy right there. Just like Middle Age said, don't fight my weekly buy number. It will win more than it loses by 8.5 out of 10. And it's been that way for as far back. I can go as far back as 37 million years of backtesting in a scientific way on galaxies, or you can go with 90 years on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or 40 some odd years since I've been using this when I moved it from physics over to finance. So, and then here, is that a buy? That's a buy. And then the sell is right there. No sell there. Let's move that right there. And that buy, does it? Oh yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. You know what? That does go into a sell right there. Yeah, that does go into a sell right there. But again, you're not taking it because why, traders? We're in a weekly buy. That's right. And then we can create a buy very easily because it's the fix. There's the buy. And then it tries to take a sell, and then it goes right back into the buy again, and right there. And obviously, you did not try to take the short there when you're trading the hard delta. And again, another winner chicken dinner. And then you can see right here, right on that peak, and that's a cool one. It catches the whole sell-off there. Some hard times. And you notice a lot of times when that sets up, notice that we end up in a weekly sell like a week or so later. In other words, it usually does some momentum change stuff going on there. And then sell, and let's move this over as let's put this in as a buy here. There's your buy. And it doesn't really do too good a job because you can't take the buy, right, traders? Reason why? It's in a sell weekly, right in this time period, right there. And then, let's see, where are we at? We're in a buy here. Can't take that sell. You can take the, let's see, put a buy in there. Right there. That's a buy. And move that sell over to here. Yeah, so there it is right there. So you go into a sell. Is it there or is it there? I think it's there. We'll know in a moment. Let's check it out. Nope, that's in a buy. See that? It says, no, it is in a sell. See that? Plot 1 is minus 0.02. Plot 4 is minus 0.05. So that is the sell there. It goes down. You could take that short. It's a very weak one, but it's a winner. And then goes into a buy. You can't take the long. But here you can because we've gone into the weekly buy and you bought there. And Bruno, buku win, baby. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to Bruno. Let's see. Bruno says, let's see. Let's see. Check out the NZD/JPY. There's a zone of resistance with a double top and an RSI. Okay, that's cool. And let's see. Daniel says dollar long. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to look at the Turkish lira in a euro situation. That's right. And then Bruno says, "What can I see? What I can see right now on Trading View on a 4-hour chart is two zones of strong resistance on the 45-minute chart." Well, why don't you do this? Take a look at the work we just showed you and see how they compare with each other, and come back to us and let us know if you're getting good results out of the RSI divergence and the trading zone and all that other stuff. See if it compares to our mathematics. Let's see. Also, there is a real RSI divergence. Okay, cool. Divergence, and let me just throw this at you. RSI divergence between another RSI, like two different RSIs, or an RSI divergence to... What's the divergence itself? Tell us what the divergence is. We like to... Like, you see how we do this on J4X here? We're looking at the divergence between the fast-moving stochastic versus the slow-moving stochastic. Yeah, if you can describe what the divergence is itself. What makes the divergence? What's it leaning up against? In other words, what's that second variable? Okay, Stefano says when you like few comments on gold. Oh, would you make sure? And thank Goldstein. Okay, I just want to do one thing. I just want to go over and I always go in order. So let me finish Daniel, and then I'm going to go over to we'll go over and take a look at the metals and talk about them. Let's see, where am I at? I want to see the Euro Turkish lira. That's what I want. We had that on here. Remember, we looked at that. It was very interesting. I don't know if it's a time thing or what, but it had a really, really interesting characteristic to it. Where was it at? I don't see it now. All right, let's do this. We'll throw it into where the Swissy is at. Oh, let me do this too. Let me just say okay. And let's save the NZD yen. Let's save that so we don't lose that. There we go. Now let's drift over to where are we at? Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to look at the Euro Turkish lira. I know we had, you know what we should do? Make a copy of this instead. So we'll activate that. There's the Turkish lira. We went to the sell here again, matching up with the weekly. It was all right, you know, but this whole plateau, that's why we have it boxed out. It's doing some really weird stuff. All right, let's do this. Let's make a copy of this. Copy window. File. Paste window. And then, let me just double check where it's at. All the way down at the bottom there. And then let's change that to the Euro Turkish lira. I remember that. That was really insightful. I really enjoyed that, looking at that. There was a lot of insight in that. I remember that. That was really cool. All right, there it is. And there is the Euro again on the weekly. And let's see what it looks like there. All right, so how did that go? So it went into the sell there. Actually, see that again, it's much more insightful. Remember, this is with the dollar euro. All these indicators right now are showing you where they went into sells. Look at that, a day ahead of time. The euro, again, you know, I guess in many ways we should follow the dollar, the euro against the Turkish lira more than the any other way. And then notice this, the weekly sell started even there. Matter of fact, let's go over more. Again, way more insight. Matter of fact, what the hell is that? I don't know. So, oh, I see why I didn't stay with it. Look at that. Now this goes into the weekly sell here. Daily sell there, nice. This is at the beginning of 2021. Stays in a sell all the way to here. Goes into a buy the next day. And then the sell jumps out here. And then it goes back into a buy there. We can throw that in. This is interesting. Right there. There's the buy. And Stefano, I am going to come back to metals. I just want to finish this off. I always do everybody in order. Notice it stays in that weekly sell all the way through this whole thing. And then this is where the dollar goes into a weekly buy, but the euro doesn't. That's interesting. So then, let's see. There's the buy. There's a sell. There's the buy. Here's a new sell. See, it's missing it. See, look at, in many ways, the euro is a way more, I remember this too. The euro is so much more accurate than the dollar pairs trade, which is really odd, isn't it? And then right there, that goes into it. I guess they must do a lot of trade, so it must be way more liquid. I think that's the answer to this whole thing. Europe does a lot more trading with Turkey than the United States does, and that's why the dollar probably doesn't match up very well with this. I mean, nowhere's near. I mean, I always thought the dollar was accurate, but I remember when we looked at this before, like, months ago. This thing is so much more accurate. Let's see what that is. Is that a buy there? Yes, it is. So there's your buy. See, remember, this is a copy of the dollar Turkish lira. This thing's so much more accurate. Look at that. And then it goes into the sell there. And you're in a weekly sell here, so you can't take these long. So all it does is stop you from being short. That's all it does. So you take the short here, but you can't take the long because, see, that's a minus. So, you miss this whole long trade, which is okay. And then, I mean, the idea is to make money. It's not the trade. You're not, the objective is not the trade here, traders. The objective is to make money. So it means sometimes you just don't trade. And that buy never occurs. How about that? That buy never occurs. I'll move that over to there. And that sell never occurs because, again, it never happened. And that buy there is, I'm going to move it over, but that's out of here. That never happened. It's still in the sell. And then you come up to where we are now. This thing was in a sell for this whole move. And and it has not gotten into a buy yet. And then let's see. This is the first buy there. So we'll move this over to here. And that sell doesn't exist. I mean, we moved it over, so that's okay. Move that over more like that. And put that over there like that. And then that sell goes in. You can take it because remember, this sell never occurred. It was in a sell. See that? It was in a sell all the way from December. It was in a sell. And then I think we're going to follow this more. And then from here, I said this before too. And I'm sure why I got pushed out of it. I think we're going to go with the Euro Turkish lira. This is so much better. And then you can see here, it goes into the buy. But again, we're in a weekly sell, so you don't take that trade. And then you can take that short. It's not really a strong short at all. It's only a one-day winner. And then that's why you need to do money management. There's your buy again. You're not taking it because, again, we're in a weekly sell. And then here's your short again right there. Is that your short? That's your short right there. It's a very thin one, That's probably why I moved away from it. Sometimes the buys are really... and I don't want to see people get trapped into trading something they think is more liquid than what it is. In this case here, it makes a lot of sense. Let's just put the sell in there again. There's your sell. There we go. All right, traders. That is that's the way we'll leave these things over here, and over time we'll use them when they do things. There we are. Let's save this. Save. And save as. There we are. Okay. Now, was it Stefano said, when few comments on gold versus the dollar. Thank you. Okay, and gold seems to see dollars 1800. Dollar can be weak in the coming days. Okay, let's check that out. Oh, and there's Bruno. Let's see what Bruno said. Right now, what currencies are you considering to trade on what time frame and what chart pattern or what technical analysis? Well, right there in front of you. We trade them on a daily and a weekly basis. Right there. I like to trade cable, and I like to trade euro. I like to trade the Swiss. They're good ones. Oh, you know, it's another good one too is the Zloty against the euro. That's another good one also. All right, and now let's go to the metals complex. We are out of our rhythm today. I love it. I love it. Love, 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 love it. That's crude. Nope, we went gold. There's gold. So we went into the sell here on this one 3 days ago. And we've seen some downward pressure. But we're in a weekly buy, so you can't take the short. We just know that you want to, you know, we went into the daily buy back in here. Back in 331. So, and that's what it is, Bruno. See that? We trade dailies, we trade weeklies, and we trade intradays. I'll show you an intraday chart. Here comes an intraday chart. There's an intraday chart. There's the NASDAQ 100 using our mathematics on a very short-term basis. So in this case here, it's a 693 contract chart. And as you can see, the difference, like it goes into a sell, right? Let's put a line there for you. Right there. Make that white. Okay, so there's your, that's the type of action we do. And then you can see where it went into a buy right here, and you can see the momentum brings it up, and you can see our math goes into a sell right there, and it goes down. Okay, so let's minimize that. Now, dealing with Stefano again. You know, Stefano, you know, it has that look, you know, like it wants to get going again, you know, but we're at the lows of the day there. Let's just refresh that. And, you know, what's curious is that looking at the interest rate factor, interest rates are rising and, you know, inflation and so forth. But right now they're just doing that. Now over here on silver, last night silver tried to show us that they were trying to get into a buy. You can see here with the volatility signal of a green dot and a red dot. We'll refresh that. So both metals were trying to lift up. And we were thinking that, you know, if this was a green dot today and the line was back over, you can see here, this is widen this for you. Not that, right here. There we are. And we go like that. And we'll move that down a little bit, like so you can see it better. You can see here, it is flirting. Let's see, move that up. You see right there, it's flirting with the minus again. And we'll emphasize that there. See, it's minus 0.0183. It's live and dynamic, so it's going to be changing. There it is, minus 0.133. You know, it's feeling the pressure. Whereas down here, you can see is, you know, it's plus 32, plus 33. Now it's back to plus 32 again on the plot 1. We're looking at the plot 4. The time manifolds are plot 2 and 3. There are nonlinear time manifolds. We use them to get a flavor of the momentum that's going on. So in other words, when you see like the green line here, good example. Green line goes through the time manifold on the plus side and starts to rocket itself. You see we get strength over the next 4 or 5 days out of it. You see when it starts to challenge it here, notice it hesitates. The next day they give us a low, and then it does that there. And then the next day it goes through it again, and what do we get? We get a nice peak out of it and there. And then you can see here, this peak here, and it starts to sell off in here. You can see that going on. We even get a daily sell out of it. And we in this case here, it's interesting, the gaps, where it gaps up and goes nowhere for 2 days. And then it's you know, it's still plus. We're in a weekly buy, so you don't dare try to play the short here. You're not going to do that. See, it's a lot of safety measures. That's why, you know, we talk about the idea of following things on a short-term basis, daily basis, and a weekly basis. So, let's see, what is that? McPhee, I get rid of that. I don't use it. I don't know why it does that for me. What does it say it's doing? Virus spyware protection on, firewall. I don't even use it. I use something else. Let's see. So yeah, gold seems the dollar can be, you know, weeks and days. You know, to me, as long as we stay in that weekly trend on the upside, that the sells are going to be just, you know, digestion from this whole move. You know, we went from the in this case here, silver went from 24 when we went into a daily buy, then joined into a weekly buy at 25, and is almost traded to 27. So these weaknesses are just profit taking. Over on the gold, on the other hand, it's a much shorter thing. It's only been in a weekly buy 2 full weeks, going on its third. Jumped in to buy it at the 1700 area on the daily. Rode that thing like a rented mule in Death Valley. And it's been now, as you can see on the fact check spreadsheet. See, that's another thing. We're probably one of the only technicians that during a live webinar, we have our fact check spreadsheet. So it's been in a daily sell for 2 days right there. This is the dailies, buy and sell. And this is the weeklies. Actually, we should say D buy and D sell. I might fix that tonight. Put them in there for the daily buy and sells. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now for everybody. Move that over once. We'll put D. I'm going to put DAY and see if it fits. It does. And do that thing there. There we are. Day buy, day sell. File. Save. There we are. And it's there. We'll use that. You'll see that now on. So that's pretty much the recipe we take, Stefan. At this point, Stefano, I'd say, that these are just general corrections. Now, we're in a daily sell, so that's one thing is for sure. You don't want to be long at the moment. Or if you are long, you should want to be hedged. You want to buy some binary put spreads a couple days ago, or, and you would have made money on it, and you could have taken that cash and added more to your position, or buy option puts, spreads, either one, take your choice. And you can see here we're in that weekly trend. So I think that we get into a daily buy, there's probably like another move on to the upside. But we need to see that happen first. And that's the way we work around here. As long as we're in a weekly trend, we believe that the overall trend is up until it goes into a weekly sell. And when we go into daily sells, even in a weekly trend on the upside, we hedge ourselves. The idea, remember traders, we're not here to trade. We're here to make money. That's it. You want to trade? Go ahead. Trade all you want. But the idea is to make money. That's the name of the game here. All right. Now, Bruno says, right now, what currencies are you? Okay, yes. Well, we look at, like I told you, the ones we look at. And here they are, I only trade the liquid ones where it has options and binaries. So that's where it's at there. All right, where else are we in? What time is it? Okay, we're pretty much down to the stroke of midnight already. All right, so what should we title this today, too? Let's do this. If anybody has a question, fire it out. We'll take a look at it real quick. We'll just do hit and runs, like 20-second looks. You could always go back to the video and look at it again. Where did we leave off? Let's look at the dollar Turkish lira. So it's in that sell, and we're in that weekly sell. And so that's kind of interesting. Let's go back to that. So even throughout that whole thing right there, this whole move right here, at least at one point we were in a buy. Where were we in a buy? No, we weren't. We were in a sell on that for a long time, just like the euro was. Oh no, that is the euro. Okay, let's go back up to there. Okay, so let's see how that is now. There, yeah. So we went into a buy here. And we had the upwardly movement, and you could participate in it. Let's do this. There we are. I think we talked about that. I think that's why we weren't following it. Is that like in this case here, you get into a weekly buy here. We were in a daily buy. You're long for a day or two, and then it throws a daily sell in there, and then it doesn't go back into a buy until right here, and you catch that move. Whereas with the euro, you're not catching that move at all. I think that's what it was. I think the best way to describe the euro Turkish lira versus the dollar Turkish lira is the dollar Turkish lira is less accurate but more profitable. And the euro Turkish lira is more the euro Turkish lira is more accurate but less profitable. I think that's how that plays out. Yeah, I think that's how that played out. That's the reason why. I remember trying to do that for a while. We were doing two of them at once, and it was like, wait a minute. You're missing all these trades. You're missing, in other words, the idea is not to trade. The idea is to make profits. And you're missing all these profits by following the euro Turkish lira. But it's accurate. Very accurate. But it doesn't give you many trades. That's the problem. So in other words, imagine this in the Turkish lira. Where is it at? I think we might label it as the Turkish lira. Euro versus dollar Turkish lira. I think that's going to be the title today. And then so what happens is that there's the Euro Turkish lira. And out of it, you can take the shorts and you miss all these moves here. It misses more moves. That's what it does. It misses more trades. That's what the problem was. I think that's what it comes down to. All right, traders. We had a lot of fun today. I am so glad you guys came in to ask questions. I love answering questions, and I love showing off our mathematical work. The accuracy, the scientific method, traders. We want success. We don't want failure. Stop in tomorrow. We'll party out again. This is Doc from North America saying Arrivederci. Remember, I'm the singing trader. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be TGIF. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Ta-ta for now, cyber traders.